Yo, 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 what is up, you guys? Welcome to the Hangout. My name is BJ Kicks. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So, like I said, this is the Hangout. This is the show that I do every Thursday, normally, whoops, normally at about 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'm excited. If you're here watching live, go ahead and say what's up in the chat so that I can greet you. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you. You are super committed because nobody watches these live streams after they're done. Hopefully, you can catch us live next time. So we are in the house. We're here. My man SO Steven's in the house. What's up? What's up? Mentor Prizes is here. What's good, my man? My man. I know if I want to say my boy, my guy, or my man, but there you go, Mentor Prizes. Bear just got caught up for hardware this Tuesday. I didn't even realize hardware number 6 is out next week. Now I'm excited. I didn't even look at my pull list for next week. And there it is, plain as day. That's cool. And we're getting the next chapter leading up to Dark Crisis next week. We can talk about that in a little bit, though. Card Imperial says, hello, friend. I'm here. What's up? Sheffery? How do you say your name? Right now, I'm just going to say Sheffrey, like Jeffrey with the CH at the end, at the beginning. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing well, Bear. I'm doing very well. That was a lie. I'm doing all right. It's been a crazy week, but I got some great news today, so that was good. Let's see. What do you think about Donny Cates' Thor? I'll talk about that in a second too. The short version is I'm not reading it. So I picked up. I have Thor 1 through either 19 or 20. And then I finally got it off my pull list because I was never reading it because I just haven't been super interested in Thor as a character. And then they started this Hulk versus Thor event. And so now I have Thor number 25, and Thor will be on my pull list until that whole thing wraps up. I don't know if it's just one issue in each book or whatever. I don't even know how that event breaks down. Mary's here. What's up? But I think I will go on Marvel Unlimited and like read Thor at some point. Maybe. That just seems kind of heavy to jump into right now. We'll talk about it in a second, though. Oh, Banner of War's gas. I'm assuming gas is a good thing because you said it in all caps. So yeah. But yeah, so before we get too deep in the show, I do want to let you know that this show is sponsored by my LCS, Ultimate Comics, and so we give them a little bit of shine here on the screen. Just got to say thanks to Ultimate Comics for sponsoring the channel. They've got 4 locations in the Raleigh area. You hear me talk about them all the time, and they're on the screen now. But if you're not local, which most people that watch my channel are not local, you can go to ultimatecomics.com or go to facebook.com/Ultimate Comics Live Show twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They sell back issues, slabs, full sets of things, trades, all sorts of stuff. So definitely give them a follow. And again, thanks Ultimate for sponsoring the channel. And now that we got that done, let's get into the show. So today, it was supposed to be a whole bunch of comic reviews. I ended up getting like some good news, and I was like, all right, now I'm preparing for that. Short version is I got a job interview next week for a promotion. It's not like I'm unemployed as we speak, but yeah. So I was just trying to get my ducks in a row, prepare interview questions and answers and all that type of stuff, and kind of forgot to read comic books, considering I have a comic review show coming up. But yeah, so that happened. I've got my iPad here. Let me pause this. I got my iPad here just so I can monitor the live chat because sometimes it gets out of hand trying to monitor it on the computer. But let's see. My man John Smith is here. What's cracking, as we would say in NYC? What part of NYC are you from, sir? Or where do you live, I should say? John says Jason Aaron just took the Punisher somewhere maybe he shouldn't have gone after these school shootings. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's just unfortunate because I know for a fact that these these books are written like months in advance. So yeah, that's just an unfortunate circumstance. I guess since the subject's been brought up, Prayers to, anyone that's affected, right? And when you say anyone that's affected, you kind of assume we're talking about the family, but it's like I saw a lot of people, and I'm a parent. I'm a parent. I got two kids, but I know a lot of friends who were just like kind of nervous about taking their kids to school, for the last couple of days. Like just it's not so much that you think something's gonna happen, but it's just heavy. It's just heavy. So, man, prayers to anyone who's been affected, like talk to somebody, you know, read some books, escape, but deal with it, Um, but anyway, oh snap. What's the Jadakiss line? It's not even a Jadakiss line. It's I think it's 50 Cent. It's like all the realisms come from Yonkers, something, something. That's what's up. Home of the LOX, the locks. Yes, Jadakiss. Yo, my cousin is like the biggest Jadakiss fan, man. It's great. It's great. Um, that was, I have a cousin from Rochester as well. So my family is from Queens, right? Well, my grandmother is from North Carolina. She, got her education, moved up to NYC. So my mom, all my uncles were raised in Queens, well, between Queens and Brooklyn. So the family ties are there. I used to spend summers in New York until the Trade Center came down. Then the visits became more sporadic. And then most of my family moved down this way in 2006. And once my grandmother moved down here, it was like, all right, there's no reason to be in New York. But yeah, shout out to NYC, shout out to Yonkers, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, the Bronx, Manhattan, all the boroughs. I definitely missed a borough, I think. Anyway. Let's see. Wavy Aquatic says, I started following you when King Black was introduced. You helped a lot with that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that I was helpful. And I'm glad you're still here, man. Glad you're still here. I didn't properly hydrate before the show, so I've got my body armor sports drink. R.I.P. Kobe. I was never a Kobe Bryant fan until like after he retired. And then I became like a Kobe Bryant, like I wouldn't say super fan, but I like had such a deeper appreciation for Kobe when he wasn't playing. And then he died, which just kind of sucked. Adjusting my mic here. All right. How old am I? I am 32. 30. No, I'm 31. Yeah, I'm 31. I feel a lot older than I am, but I'm 31. Picking hardware number 6 this week. I'm picking up hardware number 6. I had a perfect run of every issue, every variant until issue 5 came out. My shop didn't get the B cover. So I need that. I need the B cover for static, or for not for static, for hardware number 5. If anybody's got it, it's one of my favorite variants. I should have just ordered it online somewhere, but I haven't yet. What's your favorite Pokemon? I'm not a big Pokemon fan. Off the top of my head, when I was a kid, I thought Charizard was the coolest thing I had seen. But just in general, I like Squirtle too, which is why Bear's profile picture is cool to me. So yeah, I guess if I had to pick one today, I'd pick Squirtle. And then doesn't he evolve into Blastoise? Yeah. Tim says it's cheap online, referring to Hardware Season 1, Number 5, Cover B. That's a mouthful. I wish they would stop calling these books Season 1, Season 2, and just make them ongoing series. But I guess if you make it an ongoing, that implies that it's a monthly. So that makes sense. Oh, you're right. They got one on eBay for like $5, but then you pay also $5 for shipping. That's why I stopped buying single issues online, unless there's like a sale going on or whatever. But let's see, Atomic Empire's got it in stock. Okay, Atomic Empire's got one in stock. They're local. I might just run up to the store there. Um, 'Cause as far as I know, Ultimate does not have it in stock. Let's see. Let's see. Wavy Aquatic says, "What do you think about Berserker?" I read the first issue of Berserker, and to me, it just seemed like Wolverine without claws, and I was just like, I'm good." I ended up buying the first 5 issues of Berserker or so, but I checked out after issue 1. I have a really bad habit of forgetting to take books off my pull list, and if I do get to the shop and there's a book in my stack, I just feel like I'm on the hook for it. So I hate putting books back and being like, "Yo, sorry, I'm not gonna buy this one." Because your shop is counting on that money if you put your name down for a book. So I've got a lot of books that way. That's how I ended up with 21 issues of Thor before I dropped it. And you know, a bunch of other stuff that I've got. ASM had some ish with it this week. Tombstone scene was hot. Your Robin book had me ready to get in a Shadow War. Yeah, yeah. Edward Lee wants to know how my artwork is coming along. He'd love to see it. Let's see. Honestly, I haven't done a lot of artwork. I don't know if you're in the Facebook group or the Discord or both, either or both, but this is the latest thing that I've done. Um, I started a Damian Wayne because I saw somebody posted a McFarlane action figure, and I thought it was just cool. Um, I have this really bad habit though of just stopping. Like I'll get it to a certain point and then like I guess it's just confidence. I'll just feel like, "Oh, I'm going to mess it up if I do anything more." And so I got like a bunch of half done things here. Well, let's see if I got that time lapse video. Here it is. So, let me I might be able to download it. All right, give me a second, you guys. I'll download that and I'll show you the time lapse on the screen later on in the show. Got to go into my iCloud to get it. But yeah, so that's my art journey. Just in general, and I wasn't going to get into this until later, but since you asked, I feel like I haven't had a lot of time for anything lately. It seems like every other week, I'm like struggling to read all my comics. I just there's not an aspect of life where I feel like, you know what, I got this under control. I kind of started the year behind schedule and just have not caught up. I did finally though, finally today, I finished reading the Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, the omnibus. And with that, I'm excited because now I can do my review. The review that is 6 months late, but it's here. All right, I'm gonna share a video file. Where did I download this to? Okay. Nope, not there. Oh, it is there. All right. There's my time lapse video of Damian Wayne. It's only 30 seconds. It feels like forever when you're just sitting and watching it, though. So that's the video. I did go in and change the arms because for whatever reason I just kind of blanked and thought he didn't have sleeves, but he clearly had gray sleeves. Um, but yeah, let's see. Yes, I did this in Procreate. My issue with art is that I'm not patient. Like it's confidence and patience that both do me in. Like I'll get it to a certain point and I'm like, I'm gonna mess it up. But then I'm also like not patient enough to do things the right way. Like if you ever look at like those art books, like I have so many art books. I love them. But when you look at like a professional person's pencils, they put so much time into the pencils, especially someone like Jim Lee or someone like that. They put so much time into their pencils. Everything is just so structurally sound and anatomically correct and all that, right? And, when I was a kid, I just kind of tried to draw what I saw from memory, right? I used to draw like a lot of like Dragon Ball Z characters and stuff like that, but I never like took the time to learn art the right way, where you like study the figure and do a bunch of posing and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, what going digital is helping me to do is kind of loosen up. Like if you watch from the beginning, I do try to start with like, some basic stuff and then add more layers and kind of refine as I go. But again, like I'm so used to like when I was a kid, kind of throwing something together in 10 minutes. And when you're a kid, everything looks good to you, right? But now when I'm drawing, all I see is like weaknesses. But, it's something to do that's fun. And it's not like I'm selling these to anyone, so I don't feel a need to like make them perfect. But yeah, so that was me showing you guys art. Definitely didn't think I was doing that today. Um, Yo, do you guys have like old people in your family that don't know how to use Facebook and like keep getting hacked? I've gotten a friend request from the same cousin like 4 times, and I'm like, why do you have 4 accounts? Clearly somebody hacked you. Gary Szynski says, keep going, man. The more you draw, the better you get. Thanks. Thank you. Sheffery says, art is never perfect. And Edward says, thanks for sharing. No problem. Thanks for making me share. Because that kind of forces me to like try harder for the next time. I wonder if I got any more I can show you guys. I'm going through my iCloud and it's like all a bunch of videos of my kids. Um, oh, here's one. I'll show you guys this one. I think this one's cool. All right. And once more. All right. So this is a static that I did. And again, I kind of did it and then abandoned it. But yeah, I'm trying so hard to like commit myself to doing a like actual pencil stage and then doing like an ink stage. But again, like I said, I kind of abandon things halfway through. Like once I feel it falling apart, it's like, all right, on to the next thing. Uh, Tim says, when it comes to the artwork, I feel the same way. My artwork needs to be perfect to me. All I see are flaws. Yeah. Like now that I'm like 30, I just see like everybody that's good at it. Really, I'm not comparing myself to like all the other 10-year-olds on the playground anymore. Um, but yeah, John says, I love the art, bro. Keep pushing. Thank you. Thank you. Kuramize says, is Static getting a movie? Yes, there is a Static film in development at Warner Brothers in partnership with Outlier Society, I believe, is the name of Michael B. Jordan's company, and Milestone, of course. So, yeah, that is in the works. I don't know how far along they are. The last I heard, they were still working on the script, if I'm not mistaken. I, I They said something about it during Fandom. I don't remember exactly how far along they are on that. But then there is also cool. There's also a animated Milestone movie in the works. Let's see. I know the Blue Beetle movie started shooting. Word. Yeah, the Static movie is definitely not, they've not cast it At least they haven't announced that they've cast it, and they certainly haven't announced that they started filming. I did see some screenshots of that Blue Beetle. I say screenshots; it was just a picture, but I saw a picture of the Blue Beetle costume. It does look cool. It does look cool, and I like that it's Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle because I only know Blue Beetle from Young Justice anyway, and that's Jaime Reyes. Please know Jaden Smith as Static. Yeah, I don't think Jaden Smith would be Static at this point. Um, I mean, man, who could be like Static? Who are we fan casting as Static? The first person that comes to my head is like the kid from Stranger Things. I don't know if he's too old for that. Um, Either him or like that kid from Blackish. But yeah. Wavy Aquatic says love Tyler Kirkham, but don't understand Invincible. Um, Robert Kirkman wrote Invincible, so I'm assuming you're talking about him. I do like Firepower. That's the first Robert Kirkman book that I've read. I bought the Invincible Compendium, Volume 1 and Volume 3. I guess I should buy Volume 2 at some point. But I haven't read Invincible at all. Well, I read the first issue of Invincible and I really, really, really loved it. Um, like I just liked it a lot. I read the first issue. I bought the first issue like in 3 different reprint editions. And then I was like, okay, let me finally like jump into this series. Um, so I bought a couple of the compendiums and then they announced the show and stuff started going crazy and they were like hard to find. And I just never ended up buying them, volume 2. Let's see. I feel like Static should have shown up in Young Justice, which by the way had a hot episode that came out today. I kind of fell off Young Justice. I started watching, I think we're on season 4 now. I started watching it and something about it just didn't catch me. It was, you know, they started off with like the death of a major character. And like they did a bunch of stuff like on Mars, and the Mars stuff didn't captivate me. And the next thing I know, it was like 30 episodes later. So I almost felt like I need to go back and watch season 3 again before I jump back into season 4. There's something about that gap that was like hard for me to comprehend. But there's definitely some cool stuff going on. Season 4 Young Justice has 2 more episodes. Okay. So yeah, I'll probably just binge watch that. The other thing is that my wife always like cheats on me with these TV shows. Like we'll start something and then she'll go and watch like the whole show. And I just once a certain amount of episodes like just builds up, it's hard for me to sit and watch them. I'm very much like an appointment viewer. Like as the show is coming out, let me watch it then. But if there's too many episodes, now I feel like I've wasted a whole day watching TV. So Afro Sci-Fi says he's not a big fan of Invincible, but love to team up with Spider-Man. Word. I haven't gotten to that point in the Invincible. I'm on issue 2. Let's see. Today's Young Justice Phantom Zone episode was crazy. Word. Okay. If you guys let me know where you guys rank on like season 4. How do you like if a scale of 1 to 10, how good is season 4 of Young Justice? Should I be jumping in it? Am I crazy for not making time to watch it? My man Blues here. He says, Young Justice too short form, they need longer arcs. Word. I felt like maybe I'm just tripping, but seasons 1, 2, and 3, I kind of felt like one like season long arcs. Is it not the same way in season 4? I agree with this. DC kills Marvel in animated shows and movies. That's actually why. And if you go back to the why I love DC video that I did some months back, that's how I ended up a DC Comics fan because I love cartoons. And so DC had all the dope animated movies, and I started reading the books that corresponded with the animated movies, and there we are. Um, Season 1 or 2 are better, in my opinion. I loved seasons 1 and 2. Season 3, I'm trying to remember what in the world even happened in season 3. That was the one where they brought in, they tried to do the whole Judas contract thing. Um, and they brought in Tara and what was her brother's name? The Prince Gregor or whatever. Yeah, that was kind of hard for me to get through. It was just, every season they kind of introduce new people or focus on new characters or different characters. And the season 3 was definitely the hardest for me to like kind of throw my emotional support behind, if that's a thing. Okay. Season 4 was slow, but the Superboy backdrop story hit a home run. Word. Geoforce. There you go. Season 4 deals with magic a whole lot in the DCU. I am not a big fan of like the Dr. Fate and what's the kid? Clarion? I almost called him Claritin. All that stuff. That's the stuff that's harder for me. In comics in general, not just DC or animated stuff. Let's see. Kuramai says, I fell off too. They're doing my boy Dick Grayson right. Word. Wavy Aquatic says, do you read manga? No. It's not a hard stance against manga. It's just not something that I ever really jumped into. I did, though, just the other day. I downloaded the Shonen Jump app and paid my, $2, $3 or whatever it is. You pay like $3 a month for this Shonen Jump app, and you get like every manga ever. Well, not every manga ever. It's like every Shonen Jump manga, which is just a fraction of manga. But it's a lot of the manga that got turned into anime. Like My Hero Academia is in here, Dragon Ball Z is in here, One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm going to say something wrong, so I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. So anyway, I downloaded this app on a whim literally 3-4 nights ago. And just started adding stuff to my favorites. I haven't even started reading anything yet. I gotta say, colors add a lot to a story for me, to the artwork for me. That's why I've kind of shied away from manga. Also, the fact that like every manga that everybody loves has like 1,000,000 volumes already. People say that manga is way less intimidating than comics, but I don't find that to be true. How is the milestone wall going? I guess I'll show it to you. So if I just switched cameras, but if you guys follow me, or if you're on the Discord, or if you're in the Milestone Comics group on Facebook, then you know that I have. Oh wait, I showed this to you last week. If you're watching the stream last week, my wife got me a bunch of picture frames. I used them to frame my Milestone Media posters for the collector's edition of the books. And the next step is getting them on the wall. And that's the step that we're having trouble with. So let's show you. This is the wall. As you can see, these are not aligned the way they should be. But I just left them where they are. The vision's there. Eventually, I'll straighten these out. I got these slabs here. Those are eventually going to make it to the wall. At least I think they are. I am about to submit some stuff to CGC for the Dennis Cowan signing event, but that is the milestone wall. And eventually, everything will have a permanent home. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to do a new room tour. Oh man, John says, I enjoyed the studio tour and the Ace Blade look-alike. Word. Oh, yeah. That was fun. Oh, speaking of, I got my Ace Blade hat on. So shout out to my man, Danny, who is the co-creator of Ace Blade and the writer of Ace Blade. Tim Sharon says, CGC is too expensive for me. I'm actually doing a whole thing to fund my CGC submission, because if I can help it, I'm submitting 4 books to the signing and one of them I'm gonna get a remark on. So it's gonna cost me a pretty penny, but it's gonna be worth it. Um, and so yeah, it's just some. I'm gonna have to go all out. But to fund both my CGC send off and my trip to Heroes Con in Charlotte, I'm gonna be doing a big whatnot sale. I haven't decided what day I'm doing it, but it has to be pretty soon. I'm thinking next Saturday, June 4th, or Sunday the 5th, as the day that I do the sale. I have to do it soon because everybody has to get their books in order for me to get my money. And so if I do the sale on the 5th, everybody should have their books by the 10th, which means I have my money and I can go ahead and put my books in the mail to CGC because they have to have their stuff in by the 24th. So you heard it here first. I'm going to do another whatnot sale probably next Sunday the 5th or Saturday the 4th. One of those two. Let's see. Any interest in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show coming out tomorrow? I'm so behind on like all these Star Wars universe shows. If Obi-Wan can be watched or viewed without me being caught up on the Mandalorian and the Boba Fett joint, then yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, and I would love like Obi-Wan stuff from before the movies. I think that would be cool. Best monthly title you would recommend? Depends on what you like. The Shadow War has been really good. It's a mini series, so I guess that doesn't count. Or I mean, it's an event within comics. But let's see. I can tell you this. I enjoyed out of this week's books. Action Comics has been really solid. I'd put that in like my top 3. And my top 5 is like almost all DC. Nightwing, Robin, Flash. That's top 3. I'd probably put Action Comics after that. It's just dragging a little bit. Action Comics is like, I need them to finish this War World storyline. Speaking of, issue 1043 came out yesterday or Tuesday. The art is great. I think I said this last time around, but like the art reminds me of like those illustrated Bible books you used to see in the doctor's office. At least if you live in the Bible Belt like I do, you used to see those in the doctor's office. But it's good. I like the art. And the story's good. He's trying to inspire the slaves on War World to like live up to, their true selves or whatever. Their best selves, I should say. But yeah, if I had to pick one, it's probably Nightwing. Flash is up there though. So that's your long answer to the short question. John Smith says his best monthly title is Moon Knight. I dropped Moon Knight because I wasn't reading the issues quickly enough. I bought issues 1, 2, and 3. And then issue 4 was coming out. And I was like, I still haven't read any of these other issues. Let me drop this. And then I read issues 1, 2, and 3 on Marvel Unlimited maybe 2 months ago. And it's really, really good. It's really good. And the art is great. It's some of the best art I've seen on a Marvel book outside of X-Men. And it may even be better than some of the X-Men art. Moon Knight's really good. Issue 11 came out this week. But yeah, I'm behind. I think the last issue I read on Marvel Unlimited was like issue 5. But really good stuff. Afro Sci-Fi may wait for the trade for Action Comics. Yeah, that should be coming out soon. This story has been going on in Action Comics since issue 1029, I want to say. Basically, as soon as Future State ended, Phil Kennedy Johnson has been telling the same story in Action Comics since Future State. So, and that's been over a year. I see why people are like, yo, this is dragging, because it is dragging. Now that I think about it, it's been a year of like this same story arc. I'm ready for it to be over now that I think about it. Nightwing's terrific. The colorist deserves an Eisner. Where yeah, no, Nightwing is great. Planet Soups. Yeah, it's basically what it is. It's basically what it is. It's, it's very similar in that actually. I never read Planet Hulk, but I did watch the Planet Hulk animated movie, and it's very similar. I never thought about that, but it is. That's great. Um, but yeah, so hey, we're 30 minutes in, a little bit more than that. I guess we can talk about this book that I read this week. So let's start off with the one that, we've been waiting for, or that, we talked about on the stream anyway. And that is The Amazing Spider-Man. I read The Amazing Spider-Man issue 2 this week. And gotta say, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Wonder if I can show you guys. I was trying to avoid reading this on Comixology because I hate Comixology. At least I hate their web browser or web viewer. But it is what it is. I'll click around a little bit. All right. Let me get to a page that I like. Here we go. So I'll stop sharing this tab and I'll share a different tab. Where are we at? Okay, that doesn't look terrible. That doesn't look terrible. But The Amazing Spider-Man issue 2 came out this week. I'm going to try not to spoil anything too heavy. What I can tell you is if you were waiting for the answer to who the heck were these kids that Mary Jane had in issue 1, you don't get that answer here. But it was a good book. This one was just a lot of action. It was kind of Spidey versus the White Rabbit versus Tombstone. Everybody kind of asserting their own dominance. Well, it ended up there. It started off with some annoying stuff. Let's see. Who makes an appearance? We start off with an appearance from Norman Osborn. And I gotta say, man, why did they change this viewer? This is why I don't do Comixology on the computer anymore. Like, look at how this works. It used to be if I double click on a panel, it would take up the whole screen. But instead, they're doing like on one side of the page. How does this make sense to anyone? But anyway, um, you guys know my issue with Spider-Man, or at least this latest iteration, starting with issue 1, was the art. I have not been a big fan of John Romita Jr. Since I started reading comics. Just kind of felt like his work that I've seen is kind of just felt lazy. Here, it's better than issue 1. I'll say that. It's better than issue 1. But I think, his strengths are just kind of shining more. Like this page with Spidey, I really like. It's the composition, the paneling, the layouts, the storytelling overall. Like in photography, I would call it like shot selection, right? Or just the composition. Has been really good. It does still feel like you're kind of watching a gangster movie with appearances from Spider-Man. But like when Spider-Man is on the screen, it always looks great. My problem with John Romita Jr. is when Spider-Man's not the one on screen. Like when he's got to draw like regular people and faces, it's just like, yo, what's going on with these faces? I think the colorist tries to do a lot to help, like to add contour and all that. But I feel like your pencils should do more of this work than your colorist. Like this kid's face. John Romita Jr. is like human faces are just something else. But they're not as bad as like they were in what was that? Superman Year One? That was the worst. I think this panel right here, I don't know if you guys can even see my cursor, but the yeah, Norman Osborn wave game go crazy. Word. But yeah, Tombstone's daughter, I think it's Beetle. I can't remember her name, but her face in this close-up panel right here is like, Also, Tombstone doesn't really look like Tombstone. Like I've seen, like there's a variant cover. Um, let's see who did the variant cover. Let me share. I wonder if I can share. Oh, I can't. I thought I could share my screen. I thought I could share my screen on two different instances. Let me stop this share and I'll go back to the other slide. Chrome used to have a button that said share this tab instead. They don't have that button anymore, so it makes everything take way longer than it should. But on this variant, the Inhyuk Lee, like that looks like Tombstone. But then if you saw those interior pages, it's like that is not what that dude looked like on the interior. It's like a mummy or something, or like Killer Croc or something. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, what happened in Spider-Man? You had Norman Osborn sending Peter Parker on like some stupid errand. But then you had Spider-Man. If you remember from the last issue, Spider-Man or Peter Parker got threatened by Tombstone and was like, yo, tell your boy Spider-Man I'm looking for him. And so Spider-Man basically goes to confront Tombstone, and that doesn't end the way you might want it to end. But it was certainly very interesting. Now that it's not on the screen, let me go thumb through the end so I can remember how it went down. Oh yeah. The battle between Spider-Man and Tombstone was epic. And it's comic books, so who knows how it ends. But they definitely got me interested in issue 3. The only thing I was really mad at was that we got no follow-up from Mary Jane, right? And even if you look at the solicit, they didn't do it. They didn't describe the issue. They just described this arc. It says the best couple in comics is done. You aren't going to believe what's happening in this volume of Amazing Spider-Man. They're going to stretch this whole stupid thing out until we get to issue 900, 4 months from now, or however long until they're going to speed it up, I'm assuming. But yeah, all this on the cover, there is no mention of any of this. There's no, like, the word Mary Jane is not spoken or thought. Like, so if that's what you got in this issue for, sorry, but it's gonna happen sooner or later. There's only 5 issues in the arc, so let's see. My man Afro Sci-Fi says John Romita Jr. is past his prime, but I do think inking and finishing is a lost art in comics today since computer technology became dominant. He needs a good inker. Yeah, I agree with that. Because the forms are solid. Like even looking at this cover, right? And look at me being art critic when I can't draw, but the form, the anatomy is solid, but like it just when you get to the end, the covers are great. When you get to the interior, it just looks like somebody was rushing through the pencils, and then the inker didn't do a whole lot either. It just feels like the colorist tries to do a lot of the heavy lifting and it just kind of falls flat in some pages. But then again, when Spider-Man is on the screen, it's like everything's good. So maybe it's just, which pages are going to make you the money and you just put the effort into those pages and not the others. I don't know, but I wish every page just looked good. Kurama says they want to F up Peter and MJ. Can't the poor guy have one good thing in his life? Yeah. He's definitely not getting the one good thing. Like whatever he did 6 months ago, everybody hates him for it. So there's no mention of that either. Like you start off issue one with like something terrible happened, and everybody does not view Peter Parker or Spider-Man the same. But this got no follow-up to that part of the story. So now that I'm thinking about it, there's so many things I wish were touched on, but it's just that's just not how comics are written today. And it's funny because I'm trying to read weekly comics or monthly comics as much as I can, but I'm also reading older stuff. So like I told you, I guess I just finished Uncanny X-Men Volume 1. And one thing that I don't appreciate about the era is it's so verbose. Like you got to read the narration and then read the word balloons and then kind of digest the art or some combination of those things. But it's like it almost has to be done separately because there's so much to everything. And there's so much information issue to issue. It's almost like they wrote every issue as if they were going to be canceled and it was like the only book that existed. Like nothing came before, nothing comes after. If you read this, you got to have the whole story in it. So there's a lot of recapping and summarizing and all that. But what I like about the Chris Claremont era is that the story arcs are shorter, right? It's like 2 issues, maybe 3, dealing with a certain topic, and then they move on. It's got its pros and cons, and I'll talk about them all when I do my review. I gotta like write down my thoughts and really figure out how I want to articulate that. But it's something that when I compare the Claremont era to now, it's like, man, these issues give you a lot of action, but they don't give you a lot of story. It's like you're taking 6 issues and how many pages to get like basic information across, basic exposition. What I would say, but that's just how it goes. People are given more runway to tell stories. Um, Kirima says, "You read Venditti's Hawkman?" I did not. I did not. When I got into comics, it was like midway through. It was kind of close to getting canceled. Now that I think about it, Hawkman hasn't been around for a minute. I started reading comics in 2019. I think that Hawkman run started in 2018, and I don't even know how many issues it went. But the short version is I didn't pick it up when it was coming out. Although I kept hearing it was one of the best books out there. Manny says, I think Norman kind of mentioned what happened 6 months ago when he said Peter owes him. You know what? Yeah, and I remember being frustrated because there's an editor's note. Norman is like, yeah, I did that favor for you. And the editor says, when did this happen? And I'm like, yo, are you really like gonna just tease like that? Like, when did it happen? But then I realized he's saying it didn't happen in any previous issue. It's just something that's happened in the story that we haven't been revealed yet, or we haven't seen yet. I mean, so it's like cool. Like I guess tease that part. It's just so much setup. So much of comics is set up now, and there's not enough payoff. They wait way too long to pay it off. But overall, I'm giving this issue of Spider-Man an 8. I really like the action. The art was good. I liked the art. I thought it was a really good issue. So I enjoyed it. So that's my rating. Does Norman know he's Spidey? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Manny says, yeah, that editor's note was annoying. Right. I'm glad I wasn't the only one that felt that way. Okay, Venditti's Hawkman ran 29 issues. I'm curious about the Venditti's Hawkman. Let's see. I'm in here. I just jumped on Twitter real quick because I was supposed to share this link out on Twitter, but I didn't. And let's see. Oh, well, I'm not going to share it at this point because that's going to take me too long to try to do it. Oh, wait, maybe not. I suck at social media, in case you didn't know. Um, it's not that I don't know how to use social media. I just don't use it in my personal life, so I kind of forget to use it for business purposes, right? Um, yeah. All my family, I just text them, so, like, I don't use Facebook to, like, update my family with stuff and blah, 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 blah. This is the same Norman that ran the Thunderbolts and Dark Avengers? That's a good question. My comic knowledge is not vast enough to answer your question. Mace, I'm pretty sure he does know. I He was so surprised at Peter's living conditions. That's why I'm like, well, how does he not know that? I mean, does he know the dude's Spider-Man? I don't know. I'm sure it'll come out. I don't know. I don't know. So there's that. And then by the way, did you guys read the free comic book day issue of Spider-Man? It like directly followed up on some Ben Riley stuff. Or it didn't really directly follow up. It just teased some fallout from some Ben Riley stuff from the Beyond era. And I thought that was interesting. Um, but with the free comic book day issue and these first two issues of the Zeb Wells, John Romita Jr. run, I'm actually excited about Spider-Man. Like, I think excited is too maybe putting too much on it. I'm intrigued. I'm interested in this era of Spider-Man, and that's more than I can say about any other era. I liked the Beyond Saga until we got like, I don't know, 12 parts in, and I was just kind of like ready for it to end. And I didn't even read the last three parts of the Beyond Saga. So I need to go check that out. But I'm at least like curious about the John Romita Jr. era. I was just kind of, I'm not gonna lie. Once they announced the creative team for the Amazing Spider-Man reboot, I just kind of checked out. I was hoping for like Patrick Gleason on art, and I don't even know who on the writing. But like once I was like, oh, it was like they're rebooting it, and it didn't seem like it had anything to do with the Beyond stuff. I felt betrayed. Like I felt like I had been reading Spider-Man weekly for like 3 months for no reason. And so that was just dumb. Um, so I checked out. I need to go back and read those issues. But I'm like interested in Spider-Man now. So that's good. First time I've been hopeful for Spider-Man since 2018, where I picked up Amazing Spider-Man starting at issue 36. I checked out somewhere around the Sin Eater story arc and kind of dipped my toe in here and there. I still bought every issue during that time. But yeah, it was the Beyond Saga that like I was like, okay, well I'm not gonna read the end of the Nick Spencer run, but I will read the Beyond Saga. And I read that and checked out in the middle of that too. But I'm curious about this. I'm gonna read this until at least issue 900. So 4 more issues. So that's that one. What else did I read this week? Let's see. So, all right. So I did read this one, which was the book I was most excited for. This is DC versus Vampires Hunters #1. Now, I thought I was all caught up on DC versus Vampires. Clearly, I was not because they have revealed like the king of the vampires, and I had no idea. So there were some things that were mentioned in this issue that I had no idea had happened. So obviously, I need to read issue 6 of DC versus Vampires, and I might not have read issue 5. I thought I'd read them all, but I don't. Clearly, I didn't. But anyway, this issue was promised to be like Damian Wayne hunting vampires, and it is, but there is a twist. And I liked it. Overall, I liked it. There's not much I can say because Reading this issue spoiled a few things for me, but I'm curious to see how those things happened. And I don't want to spoil anything for you because I know this book just came out like yesterday for most people. But I enjoyed it. Maybe I just enjoyed it because I'm a fan of Damian Wayne. I can admit my bias, but I pretty much enjoy all Damian Wayne stories. This was good. I also love that in this universe, Alfred is still alive because I think Alfred is one of the most essential members of the Bat family. And I think Alfred's voice is certainly missing in the main continuity right now. So it's always refreshing getting like a classic portrayal of Alfred. So there's that. But the DC versus vampires, this one shot, I liked it, man. I liked it a lot. I'd probably give this one an 8 as well. But it was clearly just like a bridge to the next issue, right? You most likely don't need to read it, but there were some moments. You, it's so hard for me to talk about books without spoiling them, but the Bat family got to be the Bat family in interesting ways. So it was heartfelt in ways that sort of remind me of Tom Taylor's Nightwing, but not quite to that level. But overall, it was really good. It was really good. You got a lot of action, a lot of like, you know, um, yeah, like all the stuff that like any like, you know, juvenile teenager at heart would love about a comic book. But you got a lot of heart toward the end of the issue. So it was good. It was good. Kiramai says Alfred is the best supporting character in the history of comics. Killing him was ridiculous. I agree. I agree. And apparently we have Dan DiDio to thank for that. And now Dan DiDio is not even at DC Comics. So it's like, what was it for? What was it for? But yeah, I loved it. And yeah, that's all I got for DC versus vampires. Because if I keep talking, I'm gonna spoil it. All right. What else came out this week? I haven't read Action Comics or Deathstroke or Robin for that matter. I did read Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 8. This was very much just a continuation from the Gunslinger Spawn number 7, obviously, because it's number 8. But in issue 7, kind of ended with like this bar fight. In issue 8, you get more detail about how that bar fight went down and why Gunslinger Spawn was even there to crash She Spawn's party in the first place. I enjoyed it. Again, the story is nothing groundbreaking, but it is fun. And the art is really good. And I will show you a couple of pages. Let's do it like this. So let me find a good one. Like, it's a good old fashioned action book, right? Like, if you were like one of those stuck in the 90s comic book fans, if you loved, uh, if you loved Image Comics and that whole like sort of extreme era of comics, then you'll like what you're seeing here. As you can see, there are not a lot of words in this book. So it's good eye candy. And that's really why I buy the Spawn books. But the story at least like justifies the art being there, if that makes sense. Like, my point is, I'm not reading it for the story anyway, but the story's good enough to care about. You know, that's that's what I'm saying. So yeah, this one it's a 7. It's a strong 7. Really good art. Who cares type story, but it was good. I love Alfred. Do you like the Pennyworth TV show? I don't really watch TV like that. I just don't have time. I got a newborn. I got an 11-year-old. I got a job. I got YouTube channels. Uh, TV is the one thing that it's like if I spent more time watching TV, nothing would get done. Everything would fall apart. And we can't have that now, can we? Um, I do like I do stream shows every now and then. Like I got really invested in Naomi, really just so that I could review it on this channel. And I've got like one episode left of that. The It's not great. I'll say that. I think the show hit its stride. Episode 12 was the best episode so far, but episode 13 is the end of the season, and it's not getting a season two. So it's like, eh. I think they spent way too much time like doing stuff that no one cared about at the beginning of the series. But I think they just didn't have enough uh source material to work with. So that's my review of Naomi that no one asked for. But anyway, I don't really watch a lot of TV shows because again, I have a time constraint. Let's see. What else did I read this week? Um, I didn't read Devil's Reign. I haven't read Hulk or Radiant Red. Oh, that's it. That's all I read out of the books that came out this week. So I did not read Ninja Turtles number 129, but I did read Ninja Turtles 128, like right before I started streaming. Because I haven't read an issue of Ninja Turtles in a minute. So I was like, yo, let me like at least see if the story is good. Like, because when I stopped reading Ninja Turtles, they were like hosting soup kitchens and having like rock band benefit concerts. And like, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, yo, this is not the Ninja Turtles. These are just some turtles playing The Sims or something. I'm very pleased to report that issue 128 was very action packed. I'm lost because I haven't read the stuff that led up to it, but there was some compelling stuff in issue 128. And I'm just looking at issue 129 and oh, thumbing through 129, the art's by Tony Gregory, who is the artist on Dust Pirates, which is a Kickstarter book that I backed that should be shipping out to me shortly. So that's exciting. Should be shipping out to me shortly. That is a tongue twister. One thing that I appreciate about these Ninja Turtles books, and not to spoil anything, but I'm gonna thumb through it real quick. Yeah, this is a cover B by Kevin Eastman. I love it. They brought back Venus from that terrible show where there was an extra female turtle for no reason, and gave her like a compelling backstory in issue 128. Like, I won't spoil who she is or why she's in this universe, but what I appreciate about the Ninja Turtles is that, I'm just thumbing through this really quickly, but all the ads in the book, they don't break out the art or break up the art for you to see them. They put all the ads in the back of the book. I don't know how effective that is. Like, who's reading all those ads since you don't have to read story to get to them? But I appreciate that they didn't interrupt the art. I feel like if you're gonna do like a custom bind somehow, then this is good for that. Because you're not having like cut out pages or whatever. So I thought that was really interesting. That was really cool to me. But you're still gonna have to end up cutting stuff because of the way comic books are. Whatever. I like this. Venus de Milo. Yes. Yes. Venus de Milo. So I didn't read Ninja Turtles 129. I did read 128. And I can report the action is back in the Ninja Turtles. And I'm imagining that didn't really start in earnest until issue 125 with the introduction of the mutant ninja punk frogs or something like that. So check it out. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of a binge on Ninja Turtles here soon, since that issue was so entertaining. And that's pretty much all I read this week. I guess while we're looking at my pull list, I can give you a preview of what I'm going to be getting next week. Black Panther 6 is out next week. I've been enjoying Black Panther. We've got 2 annuals. We got Batman and Action Comics. I feel like the 2021 annuals just came out like in November, December, November. Why are we getting the 2022 annuals already? And why are Ghostmaker and Clown Hunter in the Batman annual? So that's a thing. That's a thing. Firepower number 21 is out. Hardware season 1 number 6 is definitely the book I'm most excited about. The Shadow War Omega is out. That's exciting. The Scorch number 6, I'm only buying for this variant cover right here, homaging X-Men number 1. And then I will finally scratch this Scorched off of my pull list. I think. Yeah, because I don't like that cover. Let's see what's number 8 gonna look like. Yeah, see, I'm good. I'm good on this. I'm going to. Yeah, I don't need the Scorched on my pull list. So yeah, I'm grabbing those. Shadow War Omega. At this point, I'm gonna read all the Shadow War at one time. And then X-Men 92, House of XCII. I didn't read the first issue of this either. But this variant's cool. Honestly, I like both covers. Oh, Storm's front and center here. Yeah, if I buy this, I'm buying the first cover. But I don't know if I'm going to buy it. I feel like there's not really a need. So, yeah, next week's pull list. Okay, I'm only at $46. That's not bad. I'm really considering not getting either of those annuals. That would save me $12. Oh, and the Justice League Road to Dark Crisis number 1. Yeah, I definitely got to get that. Let's see what these variants are. Not interested in that one. Let's see. Not interested in this one either. Although that's cool. He's like reading a bunch of comics sitting on a throne of short boxes, long boxes. Well, that's cool. But no, the cover A is definitely the way to go on this one for me. Josh Williamson, Dan Jurgens, Jeremy Adams, something Brown. So it looks like basically everybody that's writing on a DC Comics book right now is going to, oh, Chuck Brown. Looks like everybody that's writing on a DC Comics book is going to find their way into this one shot. How many pages is this? A 48-page book for $6. Okay. Okay. Are the Spawn covers connecting? Yes. Issues 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Spawn. What's the team book called? Scorched. Yeah, issues 2 through 6 of the Scorched are a set of variant covers. Let's do this. Let's go to the Scorched. Comes out next week. Oh, right here. I'm not a fan of these cover A's that look like video games, but this is issue 6. And then we got issue 5, issue 4, issue 3, and then it was just issues 3, 4, 5, and 6, which makes sense. It's a 4-part cover. So yeah, 4-part connecting cover, starting with issue 3 of the Scorched. So I like it. I like connecting covers. I'm a sucker for connecting covers. The only time I don't buy connected covers is when they do like a connected cover variant for the same issue. Like if I have to buy 2 copies of the same book to get the full image, I'm just like, you know what? I'm good on that. Give me a different cover. But I like when the connecting variants are for like subsequent issues. Kevin Pitt says, late to the party. Oh, Kiramai says, what comics do your 11-year-old like? Or does your 11-year-old like? What does she like? So she's very much into the more like Raina Telmeyer. How do you say her name? Like the Ghost, or like those like slice of life books that they do for like Middle Ages. There's one called like Sisters and something or other. But then so it's like those books about like basically books about kids her age going through like middle school things, like you know um school bullies, or crushes or whatever. Those are the types of things that she likes reading the most. She's not into superheroes. We had a whole conversation about that where she was like, I don't mind comic books, but I just don't like superheroes like you. And I was like, that's fine, like there's plenty of other stuff to read. But that's what she gravitates to, like stuff that just looks like she can connect with as an 11-year-old girl. And then when she really wants to just kind of unwind, let her hair down, she'll read like something like a Dog Man or a Captain Underpants or something like that. But yeah, she's not a superhero kid. Um so a lot of the stuff that I buy, she has absolutely no interest in, because I'm very much a superhero kid or guy. So I guess I'm not a kid at this point. Let's see what else is coming out. I know there's plenty of stuff that's not on my pull list for next week. Um, this Batman Beyond the White Knight, I'm not reading that because I didn't read any of the other White Knight stuff. I'm not reading Carnage. Ghost Rider #3 is out next week. I'm not reading that. I wonder if King Conan is going to be hard to get, because they basically announced that issue 6 is going to be the last King Conan book, because Marvel just lost the license. So that'll be interesting. I finally dropped Department of Truth. That was a book that had been on my pull list since the beginning, and I only read the first 2 issues, and I kind of kept forgetting to drop it. Finally dropped that this week. I told him, like, yo, just keep that. I don't need it. Miles Morales, I dropped that one too. Honestly, man, there's not a lot coming out next week that looks super interesting to me. So I think my pull list is going to stay just where it is. Weekly Shonen Jump. Is that a book that I can order at my comic shop? And if so, what's the retail price on it? Doesn't say. Huh. That is something that just seems kind of interesting, but I don't know how far behind the Shonen Jump app these books are, or vice versa. It doesn't make sense for me to read My Hero Academia number 353 if I haven't read number 1, right? So yeah, they act like manga is so much more accessible. I don't think it's that much more accessible. Oh, it's digital. It's not a print thing anymore. Well, why is it even in here? So if it's digital, does that mean my subscription to the Shonen Jump app, does that mean I'll have this on the day of release? Or do I still have to buy it? Let's look. All right. So what was this? Witch Watch chapter 61 came out in last week's volume. And where am I at? If I Oh, latest free chapters. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that all goes. It's the stuff that you get in the app. So that's cool. I don't think so. I think you still have to buy it. Pretty sure there's a separate app for it. So this is the I'm in the Shonen Jump app right now. It says latest free chapters. My Hero Academia chapter 353 came out in on May 22nd. And that appears to be the same one that was in on that issue on this oh my bad. On this tab. So they appear to be matching up, which is cool. Like to be able to get this the same day on your iPad as it's just released, period. Marvel and DC aren't doing that. If I pay my $7 a month for DC, I'm still reading 6-month-old comic books. So I don't know. Maybe those people have a point where they're like, "Oh, manga's better because blah 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 blah." But I just look at this and be like, "Man, this just seems so overwhelming. So much to read." And then it's like, if I'm gonna read manga, I'm probably gonna start with Dragon Ball, since that's what I watched first as a kid. But then it's like, am I really going to start with this? Because this is just a colorless version of something I already watched. And the cool one thing I will say about anime, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like a word for word recreation. But anyway, Tim Sheeran says reading books backwards is just weird to me. Yeah, I mean, I guess for them it's not backwards, but I feel you. Like that's another thing that kind of keeps me from manga because it just if I'm reading regular comic books and trying to read this, there's definitely like a bit of a mind shift that you got to go through to like, okay, wait, I got to read this way. So it's this panel and then this panel and then this one and this one. It's just backwards. It's backwards. So yeah, yeah, that's hard. So the idea of manga is cool to me, but I just feel like I'm like 15 years too late to even try to jump into manga, to any manga. Because everybody's got their favorites, everybody's got their arguments and stuff. And it's just like, eh. Deadpool Samurai Shonen Jump was brilliant. Is that a thing that I can search for here? Let's hit search and type Deadpool. Nope. That is not a thing in this app. So many titles. But then again, also, Shonen Jump is still not like all of manga. It's just the shonen stuff. Or Shonen Jump stuff. And like there's other things out there. I don't know what they are, but they exist. Uh One Punch Man exists. So let's look at chapter 1 of One Punch Man. Yeah, it's a lot to digest. Oh, that's the other thing. It's like you kind of have to read it like this because they do a lot of spreads and it just looks weird on the iPad. Oh, that looks cool actually. The art is cool. All right, let me stop this because I hear the manga people will get your stream taken down. But yeah, can you tell I got nothing to talk about? So we're gonna probably end this very very soon. But Overall, I thought it was a pretty good week for comic books. Detective Comics, I should read next because I'm actually not behind on Detective Comics. Um, Wait, where's my issue of Detective Comics? Maybe that's why I didn't read it because it's not in my stack. I know I bought it because I kept the bag and board on it. I really got to stop losing comic books. Oh wait, I know where it is. I think I was right. I was right. It's right here. I got it. So yeah, I'm gonna read Detective Comics next, and I'll start putting the reviews up in the group and on the page and stuff. But I really got to read the Shadow War. I haven't read any of the Shadow War stuff. Let's see. With your iPad, it looks like it's actually about the size of a manga volume. I guess yeah, that's true. Because I know they make them like smaller, the tankobons. So yeah, this actually does look like a cool way to read this book. I have such a huge backlog. I do not need to start reading manga too. Maybe I'll do it as like a project at some point, like for a video. Tim says, still deciding what to send to CGC's private signing. I'm only sending one book. One book to Dennis Cowan. I feel like it's got to be a hardware book because he did a lot of covers and they're really good. Um, yeah, I'm keeping it simple and just sending in issue 1 of all the Milestone, the original 4. But there are a lot of good Milestone covers. All right, let's CLZ or let's do this. Log in and let's go to hardware. Move this over. All right. So sharing this. This is my little cataloging site. I'm not sending issue 2 in. 3, 4. Ooh, issue 4 is a pretty good cover. Let's see. Tim says, I'm feeling static. I'm definitely sending static number 1 in. So I go to static, not this one, but this, the Polybag Collector's Edition. Obviously, I'm removing the bag because you kind of have to. There's so much negative space. So if you're going to get a remark, I feel like this is the book to get it on. Um, see if I can pull up that issue without the bag on it. So yeah. Oh dang, where'd it go? So yeah, so this issue, I just feel like there's so much you can do with it. Um, because there's so much like empty space. A lot of these other covers are just so busy, you know? So if you're gonna get a signature, then you got to worry about, oh, what color did he sign it with? Because I can't see it. So this is definitely one that I would send in for sure. Um, but if it's not gonna be that one, then I'd send this one for me. But there's not a lot of room to work with unless you like, I don't know what color you'd have to sign that in. I'll let him figure it out. Let's see. Well, that's hilarious. I have been hardware and you not get a bunch of comic books. Let's see. This isn't a bad choice either. And I'm only showing number ones, but because these are I know he did the number ones for every issue, the collector one. So yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong. You can't really go wrong, but that's those are my picks. Afro Sci-Fi said, I need to watch your Blood Syndicate review. Don't know if I like the new version. I like it. Only thing that you got to get behind, or I don't know if you read the original Milestone stuff. I think you said you have. Um, with all of the Milestone Returns titles, it's just that the storytelling is so much more spread out. I like the start of Blood Syndicate season 1, though. I'm really excited about it. Um, I'm ready to see season 2 or issue 2 and see how that goes. Oh, thanks for the follow, Sheffrey. If you're still watching. Oh, and you got a YouTube. I'll have to check out your YouTube. But yeah, I think I don't have like a it's way too early to have an answer for would you like the new Blood Syndicate? I feel like you got to give it like 2, 3 issues to decide. But I liked issue 1. The only thing I didn't like about it was the art on the print version was a little it was kind of muddy. Like the colors just kind of printed really dark. It looked better in digital to me, but it was good. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. So yeah, you can go back and watch my review. I think I showed some pages and everything. But yeah, look, guys, we've been streaming for about an hour and a half. I do not have a ton else to talk about. I need to actually read some books, so I'm gonna do that. Thank you all, seriously, for being here. This has been like the highlight of my week. It's been a rough week, and I'm very excited about this week being over as of tomorrow. But thank you guys for being here. I always love doing this. So I really hope you enjoyed being here as well. I hope you saw something you liked in this video. And if not, that's cool. But you can always buy what you like. Just make sure you read what you buy and be nice to others because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.